back to my channel. Sorry, the lighting is a little bit weird. It's like late and I am using my desk lamp, so hopefully you guys can see though and see me clearly, and we can get through this video together. But today I'm actually doing a part 2 to the Battle of the Glues video. If you haven't seen my part 1 video, please check that out. It's actually pretty funny to me because it's one of my older videos. It's one of the videos that I felt helped like push me to start making more videos because it did get a lot of views. It's one of the videos that started getting a lot of views in the beginning. So that's one of my first videos. Please check that out. It's about the 2 got to be glues, so it'll probably be at the end of this video. But anyways, this video is going to be about bow holds. Well, you can't really see the label, it's like rubbed off or whatever, versus ghost bonds. Now, what I will say is that ghost bonds label is still on there, and I've had it way longer than the bow hold, and the bow hold label just has rubbed all off. Does that make a difference? I don't know. Maybe to you. It doesn't to me. What's inside the bottle makes the difference, I guess. But it would be nice to be able to, you know, still see the letters and read the instructions, you know, after a while. You know what I'm talking about. But anyways, alright, so I've had the ghost bond for probably, I don't know, I've had the ghost bond for like a good, I don't even know. I feel like I've had the ghost bond. I think the first time I tried the ghost bond was a little bit before moving down here. So I want to say like 2016. I had the ghost bond, like end of 2016. Somewhere like that, yeah. So I've had the ghost bond for like a little bit over a year, maybe going on 2 years now. And I've had the bow hold probably since September, October of last year. And that's what I've been using. I've had it long enough, both of them, to know which one I like better. And I will let y'all know in the end. But I will compare the two right now. So first off, Ghost Bond, I believe, is owned by a Caucasian company or background somewhere, I believe. It doesn't really go into detail on the website, but I'm pretty sure it is, because usually we know if things are owned by black people, and ain't nobody said anything about Ghost Bond being owned by black people, so I'm pretty sure it's not. And then Boho, we know, is owned by a black owned company, so if that means anything to you, here it is. You know, support your black owned businesses, I guess. No, support your black owned businesses. Okay, the price point on the two, they're actually both pretty affordable. Ghost Bond is cheaper, and you can find it in beauty supply stores nowadays. So you can find it in beauty supply stores for about $20. You can order boho for about $21-22 plus shipping, so about 20. You'll probably be paying about $25, maybe more, because it's usually on sale. But if it's not on sale, you'll be paying a little bit more for boho online. But I feel like some beauty supply stores do carry bowl hold as well. I'm not too sure about that, but I know they definitely have Ghost Bond for sure. One thing that I did realize is that Ghost Bonds does have a very strong hold, but you have to, like for me, I had to apply it correctly. Like if I didn't apply Ghost Bond correctly, then my installations wasn't lasting that long. They'll probably only last like 4 to 5 days, and then they will start coming off. So I had to put it on correctly, meaning that I had to make sure that my hairline was clean, that there was no oil, no residue, that I was protecting it right. Like I had to make sure that I was doing it right, or else like my installations wouldn't last that long. But if I did do it right, they will last about a good 2 weeks. I feel that boho is more forgiving in that sense, because I sometimes isn't, well, I sometimes definitely isn't as I guess thorough in like cleaning my edge areas sometimes when I'm throwing a wig on, and so I still get a decent amount of hold when I'm not as thorough, but I do realize that I don't get as long of a hold. So like the first time I threw this wig on, I was in a rush, and I threw the wig on, and the installation the installation only lasted, I think, about a week, and then yeah, it was already lifting and stuff. So, but I believe it was because, one, I rushed, and two, I didn't thoroughly clean the area, and three, like, I don't know, the wig was off centered, and it was a lot going on. So yeah, it didn't last that long, but it is more forgiving than Ghost Bond glue. Another thing is that the dry times between the two is different. Ghost Bond, I feel, takes a while to dry, and you literally really need to utilize a blow dryer to speed up the time in drying, and prevent it from getting that white cast, because you want to go ahead and add the next layer, but the previous layer didn't really dry up, so now it's like starting to like gunk up, and now you're getting like little white gunks and stuff. It can be tricky. So you really have to make sure that the layers are dry when you're using Ghost Bond before you add your next layer, so you don't get that like white residue and stuff like that. With bow hold, I feel like you don't really have to worry about that too much, because it dries a lot faster. Like you really don't even need the blow dryer. You can allow it to dry. You can put a thin layer, and it dries pretty quickly. So by the time you finish your first layer, your first thin layer of glue, it's pretty much dry, so you can go ahead and put on your next layer of glue, and then, you know, so on and so forth. Also, the amount of layers I feel is different to achieve like the same amount of hold. With Ghost Bond, I feel like you definitely needed to, well, for me, and everybody's different. Everybody's body chemistry is different. Everybody sweats differently. You know, all of that. Everybody has different type of oils, and they do everything. You know what I mean? With Ghost Bond, you require 4 layers to get your 2-week hold. With bow hold, you can get 2 weeks off of 3 layers. I definitely feel, well, I've been getting a good 2 weeks off of 3 layers, and it definitely depends on your technique. It definitely depends on how you're sleeping, and how secure the wig is, and it depends on a lot of things, to be honest. But I feel like you don't need as many layers to achieve the same amount of hold with the Ghost Bond. um, yeah. And then, okay, yes. And then, so, like I said earlier, the Ghost Bond takes longer to dry. But also on the instructions, it says, like, on the last coat, you want to wait 7 minutes before you actually tack your wig onto the glue. And 7 minutes is a long time, like, to wait. Like, seriously, it really is. And so, with bow hold, I think it says that in the instructions. I gotta look up the instructions again and see if it says that, but I don't do all that, and I still get a decent hold. Yes. So, yeah. Okay, and then so another thing that I wanted to know is that I felt that Ghost Bond was just eating my edges out. And so I actually stopped using Ghost Bond, and one, because I wasn't really getting the hold that I wanted, like the long hold that I wanted, and two, like it was just crucifying my edges. So I went and switched back to Got to Be Glue, and I was actually pretty happy with Got to Be Glue, and I was actually getting long wears out of the Got to Be Glue. Like, not that long. I was getting like maybe like 3, 4, maybe 5 days if like I'm not sweating like or anything. But I was getting decent wears out of the Got to Be, the Got to Be Glue. And the Ghost Bond was just getting on my nerves because I was getting about maybe 4 or 5 days out of the wear, and then it was taking my edges with it. So I stopped using that mainly because of that. And then yeah, so I wanted to find something that was better for my edges, and there were 2 products that I wanted to try. It was Bold Hold, and the other product is Cling Glue, which I know is also owned by a black owned business as well. And so I wanted to try those. Well, Cling I actually wanted to try first, and then I heard of Bold Hold. But I decided to go with Bold Hold because it was cheaper. It's like, I think $14 cheaper than the Cling Glue. So I went with Bold Hold because it was cheaper, and I like it. I really do. Yeah, I haven't had any issues with it really taking out my edges. I think with anything, even with the Got to Be Glue, depending on how you take care of it, like, it's gonna take your edges out. If you're not taking care of your edges, if you're not allowing your edges to breathe, like, your edges are gonna go anyways. Like, if you're just letting it sit under a gunk of glue, and, like, it's just gonna, they're gonna suffocate and they're gonna die away. Like, that's what's gonna happen, like, to be honest. So it's not just the glue, it's how you're taking care of your edges. It's also how your stylist puts the wig on, making sure that the wig is not sliding back and snatching your edges. Because, to be honest, I feel like that is the number one reason people's edges are being gone, is because the wig isn't secured enough, and your wig is sliding back, and it's like slowly sliding, and like you have glue slowly pulling on the edges of your head, like in edges of your hair. And so that's what's usually, I feel, taking our edges. Like, the wig sliding back is taking our edges with it. Okay, I'm being redundant. One thing that I do want to note though is that, okay, so boho is technically on a website supposed to save your edges and be better for your edges and like not pull your edges out. That's what they say. Okay, I don't know how true that is, because when I got the boho glue, I started using the whole cap method, the wig cap method, the whole bald wig cap method, where you glue the wig cap, and that also helps protect your edges from the glue. So I don't know if it's using that method and this glue that's really helping my edges out, because I still have edges. I'll post a picture here of my edges. But they did look bad at one point, and I'm not gonna lie, the Ghost Bond took my edges and they were looking crazy, and I had to stop using it, and I went to Got2b glue and they were coming back. So yeah, what I want to do, see, I thought about maybe doing like an experiment, maybe trying like doing a half install of the Ghost Bond on one side and the bowl hole on the other side, and like comparing the two. But to be honest, I've used the Got2b glue, I mean not the Got2b, the Ghost Bond glue probably longer than I used the bowl hole glue. And because there's way more product in this than this, but I just ran away from it. I literally ran away from that product because it just damaged my edges. And so I don't want to blame the product. Maybe it was my application, or maybe it was the fact that I was not using the wig cap underneath it. Okay, so my camera's dying, so we're gonna have to wrap this up real quick. But I was saying that I was thinking about doing an experiment, doing half of one glue on one side and half the glue on the other side, but I don't think I want to sacrifice my edges for that. You know, I'm actually very happy with bowl hole glue, and I just like the fact that it takes way less time to apply it than the Ghost Bond glue. So I'm not even gonna do that. There's nothing that I really need to figure out or try and compare. I definitely really like the bowl hole way better than Ghost Bond. So that's my honest opinion. I hope you guys liked this video. Please comment below, let me know which glues you've tried, what glue you think I should try, and let me know. All right, till next time. I look fine and my checks still fine. No wonder why I do whatever I like. I do what I like. I do what I like. I